Hello students, let's continue our chapter which is atoms and molecules, and this is the fourth part of the video. We have already finished the three part and this is the fourth part. In the previous part we studied about the molecules and we also studied about the molecules of elements and molecules of compounds. So today we will be talking about a new topic, that is ions. So first of all, what is an ion? The compounds containing metal or a non-metal element contains charged particles called ions. So as we studied about the compounds, okay, and the compounds can be formed of the metals as well as the non-metal elements. So all those contains the charged particles and that is called as the ions. So the ions, either it can be positively charged or negatively charged. That means a compound can either have positively charged ion, which is called as the cation, okay, and it can have the negatively charged ion and it can be anion. So you need to remember positively charged is cation and negatively charged is anion. And what is the valency? Is the combining capacity of an element. So you will be studying further in detail what is a valency as well. Valency is the ability of an element, okay, the ability of an element, how much it can combine with the other. For example, some of the common ions and their valencies are, for example, the sodium has valency 1, okay, so that is why it is denoted as Na plus. In the same way, potassium has 1, K plus. Silver has 1, Ag plus. Ag is the symbol, okay. Copper has 1 valency, Cu plus. So in this way, depending upon the valency, for example, you can say calcium, it is 2, so Ca 2 plus. This is how the valency is denoted, and the symbol also have these ions, positively charged ion. 2 plus is positively charged ion present on the ion. Okay, here also Ca2 plus. 2 plus is the positively charged ion present on the calcium. In the same way, here are some of the negatively charged ion. For example, hydrogen, it is H plus, hydride is H minus, chloride is Cl minus, then bromide is Br minus. Here also you can see name of the ion is ammonium, NH4 minus, hydroxide, OH minus. All these things you need to remember it. The valency as well as the symbol you have to remember it. Okay. Carbonate is CO3 2 minus, sulfite SO3 2 minus, sulfate SO4 2 minus. So these are the valencies present in an element or a compound. So ionic compound formation, how does it occur? Okay. For example, they have taken the example of sodium chloride formation. So sodium chloride is formed by the sodium and chlorine. So sodium chloride is an ionic compound formed by the reaction between the metal sodium and the non-metal chlorine. So Na plus Cl will give you NaCl. So what is the valency of Na? It is Na plus. In the previous table you have seen it, okay. And chlorine, it is Cl minus, okay. Okay, so what will happen? Na plus, one electron will be transferred over here, and when it will give one ion to the other one, it will become positively charged ion, and the element which takes up the the ion, it becomes negatively charged. So the giver acquires the positive charge and the taker or the receiver acquires the negative charge. So here the positive sodium ion and the negative chloride ions are strongly attracted to each other to form an ionic bond. This is how the transfer of ions occurs in a chemical reaction. Here the sodium gave one ion to the chlorine and it becomes positively charged, and as it received one ion from the sodium, it becomes negatively charged. So here also in your NCERT book also it is given sodium, it has the ability to give one ion, potassium also, silver also. These are the one valencies ions. Okay, and these are the two valencies, Mg2 plus Ca2 plus Zn2 plus Fe2 plus Cu2 plus. In the same way, aluminium and iron 3 plus 3 plus. These are the negatively charged as well as the positively charged non-metallic element. Okay, these are the non-metals. Okay, here also these are the polyatomic ions. Ammonia, poly means nitrogen is there and 4 hydrogen is there, so polyatomic are there. So this is how according to the valency they have the ions. So rules of ionic compounds. What are the rules for the ionic compounds? First of all, how will you determine whether the compound is ionic? Okay, so how do you know that the compound is ionic in the first place? First of all, you need to know if it is an ionic compound or not. So for that it is written, if a compound contains a metal, then it is most likely an ionic compound. Why? Because metals readily lose electrons to form positive ions called cations, and ionic compounds almost always contains a metal. So ionic compounds, first of all, what you have to remember, if it is a metal, that means automatically most of the time it is an ionic compound. Why? Because metals have the ability to lose electrons to form the positive ions called the cations. And ionic compound always contains a metal. So if there is a metal, obviously that is an ionic compound, okay, as a cation, and a non-metal would be an ion. And second case, however, not all ionic compounds will contain a metal cation. The cation could be polyatomic ions or such as NH4 plus. So the metal can be a cation, okay, and cation can be a polyatomic, like more than one atoms would be present over there. So this is the another case. So how do we write the formula? So first of all, we need to write the symbols and the formulas of the elements or the ions, so that the symbol of a metal or a positive ion on the left, and the negative non-metal on the right hand side. For example, this is a metal and this is a non-metal. Okay, so positive on the left hand side and negative one in the left hand side. So what is the valency of Fe? It is +3. And what is the valency of OH? It is -1. Then what do we have to do? We just have to cross multiply it. Can you see here? We have to cross multiply it, and then we will get the formula. When when Fe is multiplied with 1, it will become only 1, and when OH is multiplied with 3, then it will become FeOH whole thrice. So first of all, you have to write the positive on the left hand side and non-metal negative on the right hand side. Then you have to write the valencies of the element below the elements, and then you have to cross over the valencies, and then polyatomic ions should be enclosed in a bracket. This is the polyatomic because more than one atoms are present before writing the formula. Here also potassium and sulfate. So what is the valency of potassium? It is +1 and sulfate is -2. When you will crisscross multiply it, what will happen? K into -2 will become K2, and SO4 into +1, it will become SO4. So the formula obtained would be K2SO4. Here also hydrogen chloride, hydrogen on left hand side, chloride on right hand side, both have the valency 1. So that is why when you will multiply it, it will become HCl. In the same way, aluminum oxide, so instead of here Ca, it would be aluminum, Al 2 plus, okay, and oxygen also 2 minus. So when you will crisscross multiply it, it will become, this is the wrong one, don't see this one, okay. So here you can see aluminum oxide, okay, aluminum is 3 plus and oxygen is 2 plus. So when these two are cross over, then you'll get Al2 and O3. So this is how it occurs, like cross multiplication will occur, okay. Calcium oxide also, Ca is 2 plus, O is 2 minus. So Ca will acquire Ca 2 plus and O also 2 plus. So what will be there? It will cancel, so it will form CaO because both are 2. Here also 1 and 2, so Na2CO3. This is how all the compounds are formed. So first of all, you need to, what you have to do, segregate the metals on the left hand side, plus sign one, and negative on the right hand side, then cross over it, and then you will obtain the this one valencies. Here also sodium chloride, how they have done, you can see here also a sodium oxide Na plus O2 minus Na2O. Here also Al3 plus O2 minus will get Al2O3, Pb2 plus, and O2 minus, after crisscross you will get PbO. Whenever there is two same valencies, it will be cancelled to form one. Okay, as here is only one and here also one, so NaOH. Okay, here it is 2 plus and OH minus, so what you will get, PbOH whole twice. So this is how all the, depending upon the valencies, we are able to produce these ionic compounds. So today we learnt about how to form the ionic compounds depending upon the valencies. So that's it all for today. We'll be meeting up in our next video with our next topic. Till then, bye bye everyone.